Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Everton Extra. Riyad's with me again for a little midweek chat. Riyad, how we doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm okay. Little bit annoyed that there's no football this weekend, obviously. I think the international break is like the most boring time of the year, but we move. Hopefully it means that players who are injured can get better and stuff like that. How you feeling? What's going on?
Well, we've had a few Onana quotes, so you can tell it's an international break when a Belgian player comes out into the media.
Lukaku special, isn't it? Lukaku special.
Exactly, yeah. So what Onana said is big clubs came knocking in the summer, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, teams like that. And he wanted to stay at Everton and develop, which it's torn a few fans because some are annoyed and some are also, that's the right thing to say. He's committed to Everton, but, what's your take on it?
My take on it is, don't believe a frigging word of it, to be honest. Players say whatever they have to say at any given point in time, don't they? So, look, Everton fans are notorious for this. We fall in love with a player. We think he's never going to leave us because he loves Everton and he looks us in our eyes and he beats his chest and kisses the badge. Onana's no different, right? To the Lukaku's of the world, the Barkleys of the world, the Rooneys, right? So he has to say what he has to say to stay on side right now. Don't get me wrong, I love him. I think the last 3 games he's been much better. I don't think he's been a world beater. I don't think he's anywhere near the potential he's got. The other thing I'd say is I'm not sure how true that is because you'd have to ask yourself, Riyad, okay, Everton coming off the back of a relegation battle the way it was, if United, Chelsea, fucking City, all these massive clubs come in for you, why wouldn't you go? Why wouldn't you go? So I'm not sure how true any of it is. But anyway, I don't care if he says he's going to stay for 10 years. I don't believe any of it because you have to remember that players are situational to a club. So right now he might love Everton and he might just say that while he's on the international break to get the fans completely on side for when he comes back. But, let's not forget, money talks and big clubs talk. If United or Chelsea or a big club coming for him in January or the summer, don't be surprised, Everton fans, if he's gone before you know it, is all I'd say.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, mate. Onana's, he missed training yesterday morning for Belgium.
Okay.
So he came off at half time, if I'm not mistaken, against Palace. Hopefully it's not unserious, probably just a precaution.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
So obviously it's international break, no footy, boring. But the next game we've got to look forward to is United at home. Now, United are missing Christian Eriksen and Rasmus Højlund is a massive doubt, which is probably a bad thing, if anything, for Everton, because that means Anthony Martial is going to start.
Yeah, I know. I was just
we know his record against Everton, but
you know what, Riyad? At the same time, Højlund is yet to score in the Premier League, so for a fact if he plays, he's going to do it at Everton.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I don't think it matters who plays, whether it be Martial or Højlund. I'll tell you something. You usually have a feeling about the United games at Goodison. You usually know beforehand how it's really going to go. And the last few times, really, I've felt a loss coming. This time I don't. I don't think United want to be coming to us straight after the international break with them going through what they're going through at the moment, a couple of really bad losses, whereas Everton are coming off a few really good wins. We're high on confidence, they're low on confidence, we're building, and they're sort of falling apart. I don't think they'll want to come to us.
No.
What I'd say is play how we played against Brighton, plus a few better subs a little bit earlier, and I think we'll win. I'm looking forward to a very good performance. United will definitely not want to come to Goodison, so I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I mean, Everton at the minute, like you said, the high in confidence and not just on-field performances for Man United, which is making them low on confidence, is off the field as well. I think the CEO left this morning after being there for 16 years. Obviously,
right.
Ten Hag just not doing a great job. Fans are split. They're in a bit of a Everton situation a few months back.
They are, yeah.
But I don't think any team wants to come to Goodison at the moment. When Everton are high on confidence, when the atmosphere is good.
No one ever does it. It's a horrible place to go when the fans are in the right place. If the fans are pissed off with Everton, then it's a pretty easy place to go because the fans make it easy for them to win because we got on the players back so much. I think there's a lot of pressure at Goodison. I think that's why our away form is so good compared to our home form because there's no pressure. What I would say is United are in a bit of an Everton situation in terms of they've been through how many managers and not one of them can get them to tick, so it's a hard situation. I'm not sure really if Ten Hag is the right man for United. I don't think he's the wrong man necessarily, but for me, it all dates back to when they sacked Mourinho. I just think that was a stupid decision, finishing second with that team to then sack him. Ten Hag, I think his problem is he falls out with players a lot, doesn't he? He falls out with players a lot. I'm not sure he's really got what it takes, but at the same time, United need to stop being Everton. They need to stop sacking managers. You can't just keep sacking managers. So they need to give him time. But I don't think he'll be looking forward to coming to Goodison, Riyadh. I've got to be honest.
Back to Everton, Matty. We've had a fair bit of transfer news the past few weeks, and every single one of them has been a player under the age of 18, 19. The latest one is Sam Curtis of St. Patrick's in Ireland. He's a 17-year-old. I think he's a fullback. I'm not sure. But isn't it nice to see Everton looking at young players? It's very, very rare that we see this amount of transfer news coming out of Everton, and it's academy players.
Especially this early.
Exactly.
In November, it's usually all the big teams. It is. It's great. All I'll say is if he's coming out of Ireland or Scotland.
Yeah, Ireland.
If he's coming out of Ireland, then he's a fullback.
I know. Yeah.
Obviously, he's got a good model to work off. Look, I'm happy. I think it's nice to see us building with some hungry young players for the future. So it's good. I'm happy. All I'll say is, let's not get too excited too quick. Yeah, it is great to see us getting linked with young players, hungry players for the future. Great to see us not just signing 30-year-olds all the time. But let's not get too excited. I think really everyone got super, super excited about Beto. Whichever striker we signed at that time, there was going to be an enormous amount of pressure on. Luckily for him, Calvert-Lewin's form has turned good, so there's less pressure on him. But I think you can see how much pressure he's putting on himself. So I don't think that helps. I think everyone expected Beto to be the business, and as of yet, he's not really, is he? So let's not get too excited about new signings, because at the moment we've got a really strong team. But yeah, I agree. If we can add some sort of 17 to 23-year-olds in there, Riyadh, who are young, hungry, ready to add to the squad, I think we're in a really good place come January.
Yeah, no, 100%. We signed Gerald Brandwaite about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was nice to see. Obviously, a very small fee, but we didn't expect to see much of him for another 3 or 4 years. And now for Everton, it's paying off because he's in form, one of the best centre backs in England at the minute.
Well, I'll tell you what, Riyadh, if someone said to you now, would you take signing 3 or 4 players at the age of 17 and in 3 or 4 years' time, they're going to be Brandwaite's quality in whatever position, you'd snap their hand off, wouldn't you? So
exactly. And this is the only thing Everton can do now. It's what us fans have been crying out for, the sort of Brighton model by them young, and it's paid off for Brighton numerous times. Obviously, Caicedo got him when he was like 16, 17, sent him out on loan, and now he's the most expensive Prem player of all time. So we've just got to trust it, which a lot of fans are trusting, because it's nice just to see reporters, particularly from Patrick Boylan, about Everton scout. I think it's Patrick Boylan scouting in South America and stuff, and going for 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and now
that's good to see. That's good to see because we never do that shit. So that's really good to see. Yeah,
it's usually like domestically we look at other players from other English academies. Obviously, Francis Okoronkwo just signed a new contract, which is good because me and you have spoke about him a lot. We rate him; he's good. But these players they're going to be for the future, and whether they do come into the squad and be world beaters, or whether we make 5 or 10 million quid, I'm happy either way. Do you know what I mean? We've sent them out on loan for a few seasons, and we make a bit back. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Ellis Sims, Tom Cannon, and I honestly do hope Stanley Mills gets into the first team, but I think he's just going to be another one who's going to be sold in a few seasons.
Yeah, maybe probably.
I hope the fire sale of the academy is over, because the likes of Lewis Warrington and players like that, like, they can eventually come into the first team and put a shift in. But
yeah, I think the problem you have is, there's always going to be a number of players in the academy who we all think could step up, but actually getting given the opportunity to do so, I'm not too sure about it. I have more faith with it now that it's Dyche, I have to say, because he's given players a chance. He's given Schmidt appearances off the bench, which I think he needs. He's only 21. I think Schmidt is going to feature more regularly next year. But I think for the rest of this year, he's going to be getting some time off the bench. I actually hope he gets a bit more time off the bench if Beto isn't performing, because I think everyone deserves a chance to step into the shoes of the person that isn't performing. But yeah, I agree. Your players like Lewis Warrington, Stanley Mills, Okoronkwo, players like that, hopefully they'll get a chance. But when you start tallying up 3, 4, 5 players, Riyadh, that's when it's not going to happen. It's one if we're lucky. So I think it could be a little sale for the future. But ultimately, at least we're doing some good business, and it's looking like it's on the up in the next transfer window. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see. Will we have money? That's going to be really interesting to see, because the takeover looks like it's done. Are we going to get a kitty now that it's a new takeover? Because usually what happens is the new owner comes in, clears debts upon the sale of the club. So is he going to be able to go, yeah, Sean, is 50 million or 100 million? Is he going to be able to do that? I don't know. It's possible. So if we get a big kitty to spend, God who knows, we might win everything. You never know.
Well, it depends on FFP and stuff, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, which we
obviously
know.
We've got we'll have the result of the hearing soon.
Yeah.
But
We'll
I think
have to see what happens.
It comes down to that, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But we'll have to see what happens. But I agree with you, Riyadh. It's good to see us scouting in some foreign places where we don't usually have a big footprint in, and I think there's only good things that can come from scouting in South America. I really do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've seen it with Caicedo. To be fair, we actually did look at Caicedo when he was like 16. I think Ecuador or something. But funny story, I did find him on Football Manager. I think it was. I can't even remember offhand. It might have been on Wisecout. And I was like, Jesus, this kid looks like the fucking dog's bollocks. Really, he's only like 16. Wow. And then I think it was United, Everton, Brighton were linked. 5.6 million it was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 5.6 mil. Yeah.
And to be fair, the best bet would have probably been to go to Brighton, because looking at, in hindsight,
their model works for young players.
In hindsight, Everton and Man United's track record from that point about 2 or 3 years ago hasn't been the greatest. We've had a lot of uncertainty in Man United, so Brighton was the best decision. But at the minute, I think Kevin Telwell must have, a plan and something attractive for young players that they want to come in and do well at Everton. A pathway to the first team, which is
a progression pathway, rather than just a glass ceiling where, really, let's be honest, players are just coming because of the name Everton. They're not coming because they think they can get in. They're coming just to play at Everton and then see where their career takes them. So I think we'll have plans. Make no mistake about it. Kevin Tellwell and Sean Dyche will have targets. They'll have targets that they want to sign and get done early in Jan. Don't forget, games are going on all through the transfer window. So the earlier you get your business done, the better in January.
Yeah.
So I think we might sign a few people first week. Yeah.
Matty, the last topic I wanted to touch on before we go was a nice article that I read, and it was a change to see a nice article about Everton, but specifically on Jared Brandtwaite. So it was obviously Jared Brandtwaite got his call up to England at 21s, and
Yes.
I think Lee Carsley said if he dips in form, we're fully behind him on his path to the England senior team. Like, he's young, he's only 21. So if he dips in form, we're here to fully support him. So it's nice to see that, because they know his potential, they know how good he is.
Yeah.
And it's nice to just have that bit of, especially for Brandtwaite himself, just that bit of reassurance that he is backed. They know how good he can be, and then they know how good he is. So it's nice to see that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got to say, I can't believe he's 21.
I know.
That is seriously, that is really scary to see just how good of a player he is and how composed and confident he is at 21 years of age. And we're still inside his first 20 appearances in the Premier League, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is like unbelievable. He's playing like a seasoned veteran. I think, unfortunately, it's going to be a hard job for Everton to keep hold of him for a couple of years. But, let's see what we can do there. I think it's great. I think it's important that he's back. To be honest with you, Riyadh, the only reason he's in the 21s and not the senior is just politics. Because Southgate would be slammed if he brought up a 20-year-old, 21-year-old centre-back. And anyone listening who doesn't agree with that, by the way, that's exactly what it is. Because Jared Brandtwaite, name me a better centre-back for England, because the only one you can put next to him is John Stones. Right? Maybe
Konza, maybe.
Maybe Fikayo Tomori. But I don't think Tomori can be looked at because he doesn't play in the Premier League enough. So for me, John Stones, Brandtwaite is not only a ready-made replacement for John Stones, which is why it frightens me, because Man City will probably come in for him in 2 or 3 years.
Wait, Tomori's at Milan, isn't he? AC Milan.
Yeah, Tomori's at Milan. Yeah, he was at Chelsea. He went to Milan. So I don't think you can look at him really. I'm telling you what, Riyadh, I wouldn't put any other centre half above Jared Brandtwaite in that team. I know John Stones has won the Champions League and that, and I know he's a fantastic player. But I really think he's the only one there who beats Brandtwaite to his spot, and he only beats him to his spot because of what he's accomplished. Because you look at them other centre-backs, mate. Harry Maguire, there's no way I'm putting him in the team before Brandtwaite. I'm just thinking English centre-backs in general who've been in the team before him. If Conor Cody was in the team a year ago, 2 years ago, how is Jared Brandtwaite not on the team now? So
I think it comes down to just having a bit of experience, because Konza's been playing in the Prem a few seasons now, and Konza, and he's a good centre half. The debate's up whether he's better than Brandtwaite, but it's just, I think, for Southgate, it's just a player with a little bit of experience.
It's not even about that right now. I agree. I think there's also a path for players who are English. You look at Anthony Gordon. That's why he's still in the 21s. I think it's great. I think it's also nice to have Lee Carsley doing it, because the Everton players will get a look in now.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's great for him. I think it's great. And do you know what? It's only going to be better for Everton, because he's just going to gain more experience to bring back with him. So I think it's great. I think it's great for the lad. Yeah. Right,
Matty. Thank you very much as always.
No problem.
It's just a bit of a recap, really, wasn't it? But
little weekly chat.
We'll be back.
Can't talk about our toffees too much, can we?
We'll be back just before the Man United game. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all later.